It is tactic tester time again. The time has come around on the weekend where we put other creators' tactics to the test using my custom database. Today we have 3 submissions from my Discord server. If you want to submit a tactic to this tester, do so via the link in the description. It will be at the top. Join our Discord community. There is a thread in there for tactic tester submissions. Pop the FMF file in there with some examples of how you've got on, and we can get you on this series to see if you can knock 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 off the top of our current leaderboard. So without any further ado, now I've mentioned it, let's take a look at our current top 10. So guys, here is the top 10 leaderboard. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, the tactics guru that is top of the tree still with his 4-3-1-2 that finished in first in our tactic tester league with 103 points. It won 33 of the 38 games available with 4 draws and just the 1 loss. 132 goals scored and 37 goals conceded, giving him that positive goal difference of plus 95. And the 3 people at risk today are 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, FM22, and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, as 3 new creators are ready to run the tactic tester gauntlet. So guys, just to explain this custom database and what makes it so good, this is the 𝘼𝙗𝙤 Gaming Super League. We are here. What we've done is using the power of the editor, the pre-game editor, the amazing Mozza, his links will be down in the description below as well, has created this Super League style database for me, which obviously, as you can see here, has 19 clubs from around the world and 𝘼𝙗𝙤 Gaming FC. Now, what makes this so special is if we go to Liverpool, for instance, and we go on Jordan Henderson, you can see he has all 13 attributes for absolutely everything, and this goes for every single player within this database as well. So we have these 19 other teams, 18 from Europe. We've got Flamengo in there representing South America. And then obviously we have 𝘼𝙗𝙤 Gaming FC. Now 𝘼𝙗𝙤 Gaming FC is basically made up of every player who basically didn't fit into these other clubs. So basically what we try to do is take the top tier clubs from every league around Europe and pop them into the same league. So as you can see, we've got goalkeepers like Kasper Schmeichel, Unai Simon, we've got Jules Koundé, Pau Torres, Sebastian Coates, Declan Rice, Castagne, Jose Gaya, Digne, Ndidi, Soucek, Locatelli, SMS. We've got all of these types of players at our disposal, but if we click on Heung-min Son here, he has 13s for everything, just the same as everyone else. So it makes it all about the tactics and all about how the tactic performs against the other managers in this database. So without any further ado, let's dive in and meet creator number 1. So guys, kicking things off, we have Striker, who has submitted this 4-1-4-1 asymmetric formation. Now I like a bit of asymmetric shenanigans, so it's an interesting one for me to see right off the bat. We've got a goalkeeper in goal on defensive duty, inverted wing back on the right hand side, so obviously he will be floating in this sort of vicinity. 2 ball playing defenders in defensive, complete wing back on the left hand side, so he is all about getting up and down this left hand side. A deep line playmaker in the defensive midfield spot, a defensive winger, and you don't see many of these, but they really do hold that width out on that right hand side. A box-to-box midfielder, an inside forward on the left hand side, a shadow striker in the middle, and they advance forward. So if we quick pick without restriction the best 11 players to fit this tactic, so that you guys get an idea as to how things are running here, we've got Schmeichel in goal, Castagne at right back, Torres, Koundé, Gaya rounding off that back 4. Declan Rice is a deep line playmaker, Chiesa as the defensive winger, which is going to be interesting. Obviously they do all have 13s, but Chiesa likes getting into the box. Soucek as the box-to-box midfielder, Luis Alberto as the shadow striker, Kostic on the left-hand side as that inside forward, and then Harry Kane up top. We are going to simulate a full season of this. There are the full fixture list here. Everyone will play the same fixtures in the same order to see how this tactic gets on. See you at the end of the season. So the first tactic on the tester today has finished in 3rd in the division with 20 victories, 11 draws and 7 losses in the course of the 38 game season. 84 goals scored is pretty impressive. 41 goals against, also pretty solid as well, up there with the joint best in the division, giving them a goal difference of 43. 71 points over the course of the season though, but unfortunately in this instance it's just too many draws. Just managing to get half of these into victories would have made a big difference. But looking at stuff right off the bat, you can see there is a trend that this tactic does struggle slightly away from home. Now, not massively, because it doesn't lose the games, but there is a lot of draws there, as you can see, bearing in mind some of these teams are all based at 13 for their attributes. In terms of some of the individual stats and the team stats, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 actually is the top goal scorer. Now, I'm going to click on 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He's obviously worked his way past Harry Kane and got 29 goals in 31 appearances. He's also the highest average rating as well. Chiesa and Harry Kane have 10 assists apiece. Out of curiosity, how many goals did Harry Kane get? 11 goals and 10 assists. Did he play as the shadow striker? He played as a inside forward on the left. I suppose he's got the attributes for it, because they all do. 𝘼𝙗𝙪 is the highest pass completion, and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 with the most player of the matches. In terms of the team statistics, though, it is the second highest in the division in terms of goal scoring with that 84. It is the best defensively with 41 goals conceded, the 7th worst in terms of yellows, and the 5th best in terms of red cards. So that is tactic number 1. Let's move on to creator number 2. So the second creator on today's episode is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, who has submitted this. I'm going to call it a 4-4-2 because it's basically what it is, isn't it? So he has a goalkeeper in goal, 2 complete wing backs on either side. As we mentioned previously, they are going to be bombing up and down the left hand, right hand side. 2 central defenders on defensive duty. That regista, it is in the title of the tactic. He's got a regista here. Then 2 wide playmakers. Now I've seen a couple of people do videos on this. I think RDF has done one as well. On the wide playmaker, so interesting ones there. Then we've got a shadow striker on attack duty, a deep line forward also on attack duty, and a advanced forward. Now I'm intrigued to see if these two get in each other's way, but we can try and see what happens. If we quick pick without restriction the best 11, these are the players to play in these spots. Schmeichel in goal, Castagne, Coates, Torres, Gaia. You kind of see these pretty regularly. Declan Rice as the regista. Adama Traore on the right hand side and Kostic on the left hand side. Then we've got Luis Alberto as the shadow striker, and then Kane and Immobile up front together in this tactic. Again, we'll do the same thing. We will simulate the season and see how this tactic gets on. So end of the season, and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪's 4-4-2. I'm calling it a 4-4-2. I'm staying true. I think it's a wide diamond, isn't it? Has won the division. It pipped Dortmund to the title. 26 victories, 8 draws, 4 losses, 115 goals scored and 51 goals conceded. If you could work slightly on this, tightening it up, I think this would be a real force. Because that 115 goals scored is very impressive. 64 in terms of that goal difference, and obviously those overall 86 points in total. Again, a couple of draws here, a decent amount of them away from home. That 5-5 against Porto looks absolutely crazy. Same with the 4-4 against Flamengo. But all in all, a very impressive points return. In terms of some of the attributes of the team, that 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, man, he's an absolute beast, isn't he? Top goal scorer for the club again, 32 goals in 33 games this time, and he also contributed 8 assists. I suppose that does help having 2 strikers up top. He is also the highest average rating as well. Kieran Tierney getting 13 assists. I wonder if he played as the left back or if he played as... He did play as the left back. I wasn't sure if he would play as the wide playmaker over there, but Kieran Tierney with 13 assists and 1 goal. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 most man of the matches. In terms of the team stats, it is also the best in terms of goal scoring with 115, the second best in terms of goals conceded with 51, the best in terms of yellow cards, and the second best in terms of red cards. So a very impressive return. Will it be good enough to make its way onto our leaderboard? But before we get to the leaderboard, we have one more creator. Let's get into it. Last but by no means least, we have Grizz FM, who has submitted his striker no more tactic. It is a 4-3-3-0, a cheeky little strikerless number. I love a good strikerless tactic. In this tactic then, we have a sweeper keeper on defensive duty. We have 2 fullbacks on attack. Now I'm intrigued. He has got them as to sit narrower, so they're going to sit sort of in here-ish. FM Stinger did a video on this versus the fullback on attack versus the inverted wing back, and it really did help me with the tactic as well. So please do go and check Stinger's video out on that. 2 centre backs on defensive duty, an anchor on defensive duty, a CM on attack here alongside a Mezzala. So this is going to be very interesting. On the left hand side, inside forward on support duty. On the right hand side, inside forward on attack duty. And obviously the man who's going to be trying to get the goals, I assume, the shadow striker on attack. If we quick pick without out restriction. The best 11 for this tactic, we have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 in goal, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Coates, Torres, Gaia, the standard back four, Declan Rice as that anchor, Locatelli as the CM on attack, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 as the 𝘼𝙗𝙗, Chiesa on the right, Kostic on the left, and then Luis Alberto is going to be the man to try and score all the goals from this shadow striker position. Much the same, we will simulate the season. I'll see you at the end of it. So the season is over in our third and final test, and Grizz has managed to win the division again. The second time that we've had that this episode, and has done pretty darn well as well. 86 points, 84 points. God, I can't even read. 84 points throughout the course of the season. 25 victories, 9 draws, and the 4 losses. 82 goals scored. It is a touch on the low side, but again, remember this tactic doesn't have strikers, and only 32 goals conceded, which is very, very impressive. Again, the 9 draws kind of the killer here, and it looks like that all majority of them are away from home yet again, but a very good tactic, and it looks like it's had a very strong end to the season as well. I'm just curious to see how it ended the season, because it looks like it's done pretty darn well. Beat Inter, beat Real, beat Atleti, beat Manchester United, and then beat Manchester City. So yes, this tactic has done pretty darn well. I just need to tweak a few bits, maybe get things working a little bit smoother, but I'm sure we could work on that, Grizz, if you want to drop me a DM on Discord. In terms of the home screen, then, if we take a look at stuff, Federico Chiesa with 12 goals throughout the course of the season from that right inside forward spot. Then we've got Nelson Semedo with the highest average rating, obviously playing out of right back. SMS with the most assists with 13. And then we've got quite a few players on 6 Player of the Match awards. Coates, Nelson Semedo, and Timothy Castagne also there. Coates with 6 Player of the Matches, 10 goals for him. So obviously the corner routine on fleek with this tactic. In terms of the team stats, though, best in terms of goals conceded, best in terms of goals scored. So obviously it's no surprise that it won the league at a canter. Second best in terms of yellow cards, and the best in terms of reds, because it didn't get a single red card throughout the course of the season. So we've had our 3 competitors on today's episode. Let's have a look at the top 10 leaderboard to see if any of them made it in. We had 3 very good tactics today, but unfortunately the threshold to make it into our top 10 is so high at the moment. The requirement is a 89 point minimum, which SG Fabulous is holding on with his 4-3-3 tactic. Will someone knock GYRFM off the top of this tactic tester leaderboard before the end of the game cycle? Only time will tell. If you would like to submit a tactic to this tactic tester series, please do so via the Discord. The link will be at the top of the description. Please do go and do that. And if you like the tactic thing, but you don't like this tactic tester format, go and check out the playlist here, which is all of GYRFM's tactics that we've put out on the channel. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you next weekend.